Today I'm going to tell you how to create beautiful websites like these, which look extremely exceptional, luxurious, and also realistic of what a high quality landing page would look like. You can see through the website that this is something that would be a real landing page, and this is so much better than all the AI slop that exists. And I'm going to teach you how to build this exact website and the process so that you can replicate this for everything using two of the best tools right now available in the market, which is Cloud Code plus Nano Banana. So let's get started. Now, the first thing we need to do is actually by creating assets, right? Again, and for that, we need to start by creating like the before image and the after image. And this is super important, right? So very simply, the only things you need to do is actually come to Gemini, right? Click on create image, and once you click on create image, kind of put in whatever you want. But I'm going to put in a prompt of like a photo shoot of a luxury high quality toaster, something that is creating great perfect bread. So again, it's going to create that image, and after this image is done, I'm going to create the second image, which is the after image, so before and after of the image, kind of like two parts of the video. You can see the image came out to be pretty good, looks pretty high quality, authentic, and everything else. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and copy the image. I'm going to copy this image and start another chart. Now in this image, the only thing I want is now actually the bread should be popping out of the toaster. So I'm just going to say remove the elements from the countertop and the bread should be popping out of the toaster. Now once I've done that, it will technically create an image which will look something like this, where you have again the bread popping out of the toaster, and this looks pretty good, cool. So I'm going to now do the final part. I'm going to copy this image and I'm going to copy this image, so we have both the images that we need, and come back and start again a new chart on Gemini. And now we're going to use the newest version of the Gemini model and kind of create a video. So now we come to again, and instead of creating an image, we select create a video, and I'm putting both the images that we just created, so these and the second one. And now I'm giving it an input. Very simply, take the images as in the input for the video and create a product demo video where the toaster and the breads are popping out of the toaster. And very simply, no shadow, no reflection, and the background should be natural white as a photo studio. I'm going to select that, switch to Pro if you want to, it does not really change anything. And now go ahead and let it create a beautiful video of the product that we're creating. And this is the easiest way to kind of get a great video of a product that you're building. And literally it takes you can do this with free Gemini. You get pretty decent credits on creating the image and a video, and you can just go ahead and do that. So let's come back to this together when the video is actually ready. Okay, let's see how the video came out. It looks pretty cool. There is a small minor glitch of this opening, but from a product perspective, this is super cool. Now the only thing you need to do is kind of download this video. And once you have this video downloaded, you're pretty good to get started on the next step. So very simply, we opened Gemini, created both the images, and kind of again use them to create the final video. So you can see we have the final video with all of the thing built, and then we uploaded these images and got the video done. Now, after that, we technically need to just take this video and give it information to the agent that we have created in Cloud Code. And let me bring you there. So very simply, let's come back to VS Code. So we are here, and as you can see on the left hand side, this is a setup that I already have created. So in this, there are two skills. One is the front end design skill, which is automatically created by Claude. This is one of their official skills. And again, another skill which I have created is the Nano Banana website, which will allow us to create images for our website using Nano Banana. So it has an access to an API and it can automatically create images for us. Then I have an agent which is the website builder agent. Now very simply, this is the main secret sauce of how you can build a website in quite literally one shot. All of this will be available in the link to download, so don't worry, you can go ahead and download the agent, all the skills that are available here, and get started with it. But we already have this, and we're not going to waste time going through the whole agent documentation. We're going to come here and give our Cloud Code an instruction to start creating the website. So I'm very simply going to come here and say, use the website builder agent to create the website based on the video. Now, as you can see, I have not added the video here. Very simply, I will create a new folder, which is going to be video, assets. And in this video asset, I'm just simply going to take the file that we just downloaded and drag it into VS Code. That's it. So you have the video available here, and this is the video that we have got. Now all we need to do is kind of refer the video here. I'm just going to say based on the video, add product demo creation, and that's it. After you technically send this, and I'm going to move this from ask before edits to bypass permissions, and let it go ahead and start cooking, if you ask say. Right now what Claude is going to do is kind of analyze the video, right, again, and go through everything to create a complete website. It will go ahead and create a design spec, it will go ahead and create a website, it will go ahead and create animations, create images, everything in short. And that's all because of a single place where we have all the agent and the website builder, which can do all of these things. As you can see, the first step that it started doing is actually extracting the frames from the video, so it can learn and analyze the frames properly and kind of create the value, kind of create the design out of it. And this is going to keep continuing to actually create it. Now the only point is we actually don't need to walk through each step right here, and we will let Claude do its job, and let's come back to it once we have our first website part ready. Now till the website is getting built, let me give you a quick overview on what is happening on the back end. We give the agent the video, agent understands it, automatically extracts all the information and starts building out the website. It really goes deep into the video to get everything out of it. I have kept it to kind of extract all the information that it needs from the video and don't ask kind of any questions. But you can always go ahead and give more inputs if required. After that, more or less, it starts building the website. Now, the one thing that you still need to do, and which I probably again have done before, is to set up your skill.md for generating images. So if I bring you back to VS Code, in this, only thing that you need to do is kind of again, add your API key. That's it. I've already written instructions for the same. The only thing you need to do is get your Gemini API key. Now you can get a Gemini API key in multiple places, but the easiest one is just go to aistudio.google.com, go ahead and generate an API key. So you go ahead on the left hand side, click on get API key, and from there you can click on create an API key and get one, and that's all you need to do. Once you have the API key, go ahead and copy paste it in this file so that your agent can also create images using Gemini to add on the website. Okay, so the website is ready, but let's actually check it out, right? Again, let's actually check it out. This is the starting of the website, which looks pretty cool, with the video and everything else. You have some things here which are I believe some parts were supposed to be added here and they're missing. So let's see that. You have this amazing, beautiful images created, and you can see these are real images that automatically got created using Gemini Nano and has pretty cool information. This is what a high quality website will look like. You have the right video, you have the right quality of images. This is a real image again created for this, and you see that. Now I see there are some sections that are completely missing, or should be available but are not, and that's just unacceptable. But that also brings us to very simply again the next step, which is to technically bug fix, and that is the one thing that you need to do with Claude Code. That does not mean that you need to change anything. The only thing that means is that we need to together just give it a couple of screenshots and ask it to fix that. So let's see. We're going to come here and I'm just going to say that after the feature section nothing is visible. So I'm going to take a quick screenshot of this, and you can ask Claude to also take screenshots with its browser and everything else, but this is a better way because you might want to do minor changes. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to say very simply, there are no sections visible in the website after the 4 images that are created as features, and ensure to look into the website properly and thoroughly and make sure that every section is visible properly. I'm going to attach the screenshot here and very simply press enter. And now it will be able to again go ahead and actually understand what mistakes went out in the HTML file, or it with CSS, or is it with something else. Let's see, we don't know. So one of them are going to again come back with us and understand what file is. But that's one of the most critical features whenever you're building anything with Claude Code. You need to keep iterating and fixing and adding new features. So describe it to that and bring it all together. So say that okay, this is not working, tell it that fix this, and it will just bring it all together like I expect right now for it to do. It'll probably take a couple of seconds and I can show you the final output on what it looks like. Let me show you the output that came out, and it's amazing. This is the like the complete website that we got, and you can see that like the cursor is also modified on the website. So the cursor expands on, like, when you go to Archer and Co, and like, you have these things. Like the design is just beautiful, like again, and it's just that it has all extracted all of this from the video of the elements of it needed and brought it back. Then you have, like, the images getting zoomed in a bit, like, you can see, like, it has created a beautiful option, and like it just all looks super professional. It looks like, something that you will actually have on a product page when you're selling a luxury toaster worth 349 pounds. And that's the idea. You can actually, like, again, build these websites for others and like really charge, like, again, 1/10 of the cost or 1/5 of the cost, and like, capture a decent amount of the market. Or this is something like, again, something like this would probably cost easily $3,000 to $4,000 for someone to build all of this, and we were able to do this in less than 20-25 minutes. Now, to actually take this live, which is where most people struggle, is going to be the easiest part of it all. I'm going to use something called Netlify, which is the easiest way to deploy this website. So one of the options that it has is, like, deploy manually, which is something that I love because it allows you to technically just take all your website folder, right, again, and just drop that in. But just show you this from VS Code, so you guys can see, like, again, we have our VS Code here, and this is the website Archer Code. Now all you need to do is, like, find the file here. So the Archer Code Toaster, it's always created in this. Just copy the path and come back here. So you can paste the path in your file browser, and it has everything that you need. So I'm just going to select the file, the website folder, and remember that every time, like, again, I've configured the skill to always get, like, a new website folder to be created. So you can just click upload, and it will automatically get your website live in a couple of seconds. And that is the craziest part here. Like, it will literally take a couple of seconds to get our whole website live, which you can share with anyone in the world. And that's it. The website is live, and we have our website live on the web. Let me just show this to you guys. Like, again, we have a URL here which is ready, and you can deploy it by just dragging and dropping your folder of the website. It has everything that it as it is, and you can, like, go ahead and drag and drop this. But let's say you don't want to also make changes to this. Now there are a couple of ways to do that, but, like, again, you can just deploy a new folder, which is not the best option, because a lot of times you will want to technically, like, again, make different kind of changes, or, like, run it on local and everything else. So the alternative option is, like, kind of come to projects, right, again, and add a new project, and we want an import an existing project from here. Now when you come to this, there are a couple of options that you see here: GitHub, GitLab, and everything else. All of these are just version control systems. When I say version control systems, simply they allow you to manage versions of your files. So what we need to do is, if we come back to VS Code here, and I'm going to show you, like, quickly 3 steps on getting yourself set up on GitHub. So for that, you should have a GitHub account, right? Again, you should have a GitHub account, and it's free of cost. Just go ahead and sign in and make an account. Once you have an account, you can click on this beautiful button called source control, or the tree kind of button, and you see there are multiple options available. You're going to select publish to GitHub, and in this, I'm just going to say, like, again, toaster website, right, and kind of select like a private repository that I want to publish this into. Now before I just click that publish button, the one thing I created was create a gitignore file. So I just created, like, a new file and renamed it to gitignore. So I'm just going to show this to you. Come new file dot gitignore. Now what this file does is very simply, it's a list of things that I don't want to send to GitHub. Like, those are not the things that I care about. The only file that should go, or the folder that should go, is Archer. So what I've done is I've put all the folders, so .clod, the video, and everything else, which will be ignored from GitHub. So that means none of this will actually go to GitHub, because it does not matter for them to go ahead. I'm going to come back here, click on publish to branch. I'm going to say toaster website, and just click on publish to GitHub private repository. Private repository simply means it's going to be only visible to you and not to anywhere else, and that's completely fine. And as you can see, like, again, it's going to upload only the relevant information and nothing else, right? Again, so it, like, again, is going to create the commit, and now we have this available on web. So just to show you this on GitHub, if I come back to my profile or my repositories, I should have a new repository, which is more or less just a fancy way of saying folder, and you can see toaster website. which will have all the information and all the details already there. So it's still sending all the information, and I think it's now sent. Let's refresh this. Now, as you can see, we have all the files here from the website, right? Pretty cool. Now, the only thing you need to do is come back here and select GitHub. And once you select GitHub, it will automatically be able to kind of allow us to connect Netlify with GitHub, which means that both of these tools can talk to each other in a very simple way. And I'm just going to click on authorize. It has authorized and it could. And now I should be able to select the toaster repo. So come here and search the name of the repo that you have. So search toaster website, and we're just going to leave everything as it is and say deploy toaster website. And now it will automatically deploy the website again on web. The only cool thing that you get with GitHub is that you also have the option to kind of like, again, navigate between different files and everything else. And this is an error that I was expecting, because the point is it needs, so Netlify needs an index.html file to be the highest file available. So it needs index.html to be the topmost file here. And what happened here is git ignore also got pushed, where I just wanted to technically push the whole folder as it is. So for that, I am just simply going to make some amends. I'm going to change all of this from archer.co toaster and bring it all back kind of outside the website. So bring it all of this outside, and that's fine. And now kind of, if I'm correct, kind of just you can come here and say updates to structure, and come here and select commit and push, and it will automatically push all the changes that I did. Okay, so we have sent that out, and that's pretty much it. We can quickly again see what happens here now, and you can see it's working. The website is working. It's available live on Netlify, because the only thing is again, I just had to you need to make sure that the index.html file is visible to Netlify. Everything else can stay wherever it wants. And now you have a website available here. The best part again with GitHub is you can keep modifying. You can send out updates. So let's say you make some change here on your local machine, but you don't want to send it to everyone else. You don't need to come here and commit, and that's completely fine. But that's the idea. So now, with all of these things completed, with all the things that we have done, you actually have a live website. You know how to bug fix, you know how to add new features, and you know how to also publish to GitHub by very simply again pushing it all out there, using the feature there in VS Code, and it's live on Netlify. And with that, you have all the 5 steps covered to actually build a website, and not actually build a website, actually build an amazingly cool website using Cloud Code plus Nano Banana in a single place. And that, I believe, is a crazy win. So you literally took 2 images and created a video, and everything else happened just with the agent. And now you should go ahead and build some amazing websites and sell people the service, because more and more business owners would actually want to upgrade their websites and look better. And I'm pretty sure if you just throw a stone out there, you'll find 10 more of them. With that, I would like to say, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps you out a lot. I spent a lot of time creating these videos, and it will help me to reach out a lot more people. Hit the like button. It will help me share this more with others also. And if you have any comments, I would love to see you in the comment section down below. And just a reminder, the files for the agent builder and everything else will be available in the description, so you can go ahead and check those out. Till then, see you in the next one.